Warning, this podcast contains... Warning, this podcast contains... Warning, this podcast...
You're the absolute
Fuck you,
freaking
Dom.
worst. Oh my god.
What's up? Oh, I'm broken. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast.
Serves you right. Serves you right.
Yeah.
For the Vampire Diaries, Season 7, Episode 10, Hell is Other People. I'm flashing all over the place. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Mike.
Hi.
Hi. My co-host, Nikki.
Hi.
Hi. And my co-host, Kim.
Hi.
How goes it?
It goes.
It goes. You're not Thiladrin.
No.
We are all
Wow,
sorts of
you're-
great. The Phoenix Stone is fucking everything up. I'm just gonna say that right
She's
out
not
there.
me, but she lives with me, so I mean, close enough.
No, not even close.
No? Not even close?
He's like, damn it, I'm not your name. Get out of here.
Okay. I'll
She's
switch
mean.
it. She's mean?
She's mean.
Maybe you're just imagining her from the Phoenix Stone.
Maybe.
Maybe
Today-
she's a hallucination. Maybe she's not really here.
Today has been hell, so if I wake up again, instant replay tomorrow, I'll start questioning that.
How did I get so...
I don't know. How did I get so...
It's the Phoenix Stone. I'm telling you, it's fucking everything up. So, what did you guys think of this episode?
amazing?
It was fantastic.
It's
Yeah?
twas. It's twas.
This, I'm throwing this out there right now. This is a bold statement. Bold statement. This is my favorite episode of the entire goddamn series.
This definitely
It's
had a
high
much...
up there.
This had
Yeah.
a much greater comedy factor to it for me
Mm.
than pretty much any other episode.
Mm.
I loved Groundhog Day. I love the concept of Groundhog Day. That was my favorite episode of Supernatural. It was my favorite Bill Murray movie.
I mean, I didn't find it funny. I found it extremely interesting. It is high up there on my most favorite episodes of Vampire Diaries of all time. But it was funny in some parts, just
I'm
from
sorry. It was,
Damon's, reactions and what he was going through to try to change and try to get himself out of this hell.
He's getting pissed
But-
off.
Just the little bits of dialogue that he was changing every time. It
throw
was
the
just-
grenade.
Yeah, the
And the
grenade.
pistols.
The grenade throw.
Then the pistols. Now come out with your hands up. It's like Damon turns around. There's the three, the house owners.
Really
with
started to
knives and
hate
stuff.
you guys.
Really starting to hate the
But
three.
when in the camp, when he's just walking away and he's like, fuck this, I'm going straight to my brother,
Throws
and just
grenades.
throws the grenade. Henry's like, grenade!
Ah,
I
mean, this-
other than those flashbacks, like his reoccurring hell, there really wasn't much to this episode other than the
there's
ending.
not. There's gonna be a really short podcast, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say out there, sorry for that in advance, but I'm gonna try to. We got a couple talking points, and so it's basically Damon's been trapped in this 1863 hell, and this version of the Phoenix Stone is basically his biggest regret before he became immortal. So before he became a vampire. And this has been like a secret that's been eating away at him forever, and it's like coupled with the realization that, he lost his mother, and that was kind of like the big epiphany moment. And then it seemed like every time like he was starting to get closer and closer to figuring that out, that's when things would reset, and he'd come out, he'd wake up, right? And it'd be Bonnie, telling him, "Oh, we tried for this long and you're out," but that he really wasn't out.
No.
And like we saw this a couple times, and we saw what Julian. We saw Julian with Stefan's body at the diner, and he burned in as soon as Stefan's body burned. That's when the reset kicked in. He got sucked back in, and then after he goes through this whole process again, Damon wakes back up. And he's like, I know where Stefan is. And he starts this whole spiel, but then Stefan's standing there. And then Stefan starts talking about stuff that happened that Damon never talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when Damon was like, well, you're not real. And he kills him, and the reset starts off again. But then we get the third time when he comes out. It seems more real. Like, he just had the realization of his mother. He went through this whole epiphany, kind of thing, and then he comes out. And it ends with Damon apparently killing everyone. So
here's the thing. Here's something, right? Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, is Damon really out at this point, or was that another Phoenix Stone?
It was another Phoenix Stone.
Was it?
Now, the reason I noticed this, right? He staked Caroline through the chest. She didn't start desecrating. Anyway, staked her through the chest.
He didn't exactly get her in the heart, though. He got her kind of like up here in the shoulder.
I would say he got her dead center. But anyway,
no.
Kills Caroline, breaks Matt's neck, smashes Bonnie against the wall. He broke Stefan's neck. That's not going to kill Stefan. He's a vampire. Breaking the neck does not kill a vampire, it just incapacitates them. So if the reset switch that we've seen is killing Stefan, or eliminating Stefan's body, breaking his neck didn't do that.
Okay.
And that's what he did. The first thing is he turns to Stefan and breaks his neck. So Stefan is still alive in that little vision, thus it hasn't reset for him.
But did he actually kill everyone?
That's another good question.
No.
Well,
because... he hit Matt across the face and made him, jolt, but I don't think it hurt, it knocked him out, right? Because he's a freaking vampire.
Yeah, it looked like a knockout.
It was like a knockout. Yeah. Caroline was in the shoulder. Bonnie just got her head smashed in the wall. Yeah, she's going to be knocked out.
Well, her whole throat and everything, too, was...
It was, compressed and everything. So she's probably just knocked out. It's not like... You didn't see the life leave her eyes, which was what would happen if he killed her because of the whole spell with Elena.
Mm-hmm.
And then, with Stefan, just cracked his neck, he's out. If it were a reset, why would they leave it like that?
To get you wondering. This is a very,
cliffhangery.
Yeah. I was going to say, what's the movie? Inception. It's a very Inception kind of ending where it leaves it open-ended. Like, was this real? Was this not real? You don't know as it ended. The difference here is we will find out next episode. I'm assuming next episode.
Well, we know none of them are dead because we've seen them all in the future.
Yeah.
So
that's another reason to say it's...
Yeah. Well, no, because if they are just injured, close to death, Damon can use vampire blood to heal them all.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, just Bonnie
Caroline,
and Matt.
Yeah,
Caroline
and Matt.
Stefan fine.
Caroline and Stefan don't need it, but yeah.
The way I see it, so it's either the two. It's either he's still stuck in the stone, though it did seem like he did come to some realization. But even if he does come to that, he still could be stuck in because they still couldn't get him out of some sort. He's still fighting.
He just seems so disoriented, and to me, that because he was that disoriented, it seems like he was out.
Yeah, it did seem the scene did seem like he was out. That's the way they played it.
That could be a whole nother trigger of the Phoenix Stone, though.
That could have he went through, because part of that realization was, Stefan was saying this at one point in part of his vision. Who did you want? I wanted my brother. No, who did you want? And it's like he admitted, I wanted my mommy. Like, I wanted my mother. And then he has this whole heartfelt with the, hell version of dying Lily. And that got him past some kind of regret or something. So now this hell can no longer torture him with that. On to the next thing.
True. That would be what it'd have to do. It would slowly have to go through each bullcrap.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he wants to find his mother. He wants to reconcile with her. And he realizes maybe he really didn't hate her that much.
So I want this to be real. Okay. I have a feeling it's still the Phoenix Stone. But I want this to have really played out.
I mean, I think of what we saw in the future and how how people commit themselves into asylums. He's so distraught right now. He's just going to say, put me in a casket. And that's where we're going to get that time jump. We're going to see that time jump really soon. And I think this is that point where he decides, okay, I hurt people because I can't handle this. I need to be put away.
That's possible.
That's a good theory. I can accept that if that happens. Although I'm still thinking he's stuck in the Phoenix Stone still.
I don't know. I mean, even though it'd be interesting to see if this is continues of the stone, I honestly think it would be a better them leading into he actually did come out and
Yeah.
went psycho, and it would play off to that and make sense, and it would now make sense of why everyone else that came out of the stone was a little because they're still reliving the bullshit.
Yeah.
So
The one
they're going, ugh.
The one they put in Joe was obviously hundreds of years in that stone.
Yeah.
So that would explain why she's like, oh, okay, I'm totally this Joe person. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think back to the seasons where we had problems where they dragged things along too long. And I think having the Phoenix Stone, I mean, it's been kind of an overarching thing the whole time. It's hanging over everybody's head. It's been dragged on. And if they leave Damon in the stone too long, I'm going to lose interest.
That's true, but I feel like we get away with one more episode, half an episode, whatever. Not like a full episode in there, but I mean like him starting off, and I feel like we get away with one more, especially if they didn't focus on Damon. Like, yes, this whole episode focused on Damon. It was really Damon centric, and everything Damon, Damon, Damon. But if the next episode is Stefan, and seeing what Stefan's going through over there. Right?
We've seen so many Stefan
I know.
Ripper flashbacks. I don't know if they can pull
I don't think they could pull it off either.
It's
so
true,
what
but
I'm thinking is the next episode could deal more with like Stefan getting out and actually getting out and not being in the Groundhog Day loop, but like actually getting out, dealing with it, and then focusing on helping getting Damon out. We don't see Damon's repeated struggle and getting stuck in there, but it's just, oh, Damon's still in there. And then get him out, and then when they get him out, have it replay this whole thing that we just saw at the end of the episode, and end next week's episode with the exact same ending that we had here. I would fucking love it.
See, that would be interesting, but like, I don't know,
Ballsy. It would be ballsy.
They would totally have to, not focus on Damon at all, other than him being there, and they need to get him out. That's it. They'd have to do something with the other characters more in depth.
Because this episode was 97% Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, until other than the few little, the
little
out.
There was the one snippet in the middle of the episode that was what we can assume was the actual characters outside trying to help Damon.
I'm telling you guys right now, if next week's episode ends with this week's ending again, I'm leaving the podcast and I'm going to
Julie?
I'm going to go find Julie Plec, and I'm going to go submit a writer's application to be part of their staff. So, all right, if that happens, then I'll be like, look, I've been calling this show the whole time. I'm basically one of your writers at this point. The whole time. The whole time. Got one thing right out of 7 seasons of this show. The whole time.
One thing.
One thing.
So, and the other thing that really started getting me this episode is his buddy Henry, his war buddy. I don't think we've seen the end of him.
Oh, no. There's no way. I think he got turned somewhere along the line, and he's going to be showing up very soon, and he's going to be really angry. I think he's going to be super angry.
I don't know if it's necessarily Damon that turned him. I could see that, but I'd rather have it not be Damon that did it. And
yeah, I didn't say Damon, but I'm saying he got turned somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't think about...
I don't know. I just, every time I saw him over and over again, I'm like, they're showing this guy for a reason. It's not just some random guy. Like, everything they do intentionally. And, like, for all intensive purposes, they could have just used anybody. They could have put Lorenzo in that role.
There's someone we haven't seen in a while.
Right? They could have just put Enzo there and just been like, pretended like he was a war buddy, and then have Damon just be like, you were never in the war with me, and I just have him be like, well, you see what you want to see. Kind of, that would have been a perfect explanation. They could have done it. We would have loved it because it's Enzo fucking banter between him and Damon. Like, oh my god, that would have been amazing. But I'm glad they didn't go to that route. I'm glad they introduced a new character. And I feel like we're going to see him more.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the reason why Henry was there is because this was a real event. It really did happen. The
Right.
two of them, and it sounded like that that was just the first of many that he did during the war.
Mm-hmm.
So he did more than one of these instances of taking down and bringing back in.
Right.
Yeah. So it was just okay. So it ended up being like, okay, I brought these people back. Or obviously they didn't bring him back. He killed them all, but. He was
Do
like,
they have to be alive?
Yeah, there was that once of
That's good.
redo that he killed them, and he still got to go.
Yeah, no, but he asked his commander, do they have to be alive? And then he goes in and just shoots the glass jars, and then the thing opens and they just fall over dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like...
Then he turns around and Granny has a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is that was the reason I think it was Henry, because that's who he actually did all of this stuff with.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, but I just feel like he's turning into more of an important character now, and we're going to see him at some point. Maybe not soon. For all we know, it could be next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like we'll see him at some point in the future.
So Damon has to again deal with shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. I think Henry would be able to totally dig up more demons that Damon doesn't want to deal with.
Okay.
For
Hello,
him
hero.
to be there. Yeah, exactly. Oh, could you imagine just Damon standing there, all heroic? He did something, and then in the back of the shadows, and you hear "Hello, hero." Could you just imagine his face? It would be priceless.
He'd just be like smiles, and the smile would just go.
Shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The fuck?
I'm totally expecting them to like play out the whole rest of the season, and then just be like, "Oh, sorry, Damon, you were in the Phoenix Stone this whole time."
Oh wow.
Because I'm never going to believe that Damon's out of the Phoenix Stone. Never. Like, you can't convince me ever. They could destroy the Phoenix Stone. They could do anything you want under the sun. They could end this series. And for all I care, Damon is now stuck in the Phoenix Stone forever.
If that's the case,
the zombie thing, everyone's a zombie.
yeah, everyone's a Cylon. No, but like if that were the case, I definitely would have some choice words.
That's how they're gonna end the series. Like they'll get Nina Dobrev to come back for one more episode. Right? Bonnie will wake Damon up using the Phoenix Stone, drain all of her power. She'll die getting Damon out. Elena, it'll just open with the casket and Elena opening her eyes, and that's the final scene of the thing. The whole show is Damon finally getting out of the Phoenix Stone.
Bonnie's old and gray.
Mm-hmm.
No, that'd be silly. Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't want them to do it, but in my head canon, that's how it goes from here on out. So
Ian did pretty much say if she did come back, he wasn't going to be the show anymore.
I don't know. There's a lot of rumors about he said, she said, this
that's
behind
true.
the set. There's all stuff that Ian's being a diva on set, and that does not sound like him. As like it sounds like the character Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does not sound like Ian Somerhalder at all. Like
No.
he
You can
is
look at a
one
lot
of
of
the
TV
nicest
shows
people.
and-
He like goes out of his way. He's like animal rights activist. He's planet, green. Like all the he does all this stuff. He does so much stuff to help other people. There's no way I see him being a super diva on set. So I don't even look at any of those rumors going around with more than a grain of salt. So
No, there's people, there's celebrities, they're gonna be in the limelight. There's always gonna be something said, and it's always gonna get passed around. So unless you see it with your own freaking eyes, don't believe it.
yep.
Oh no, I totally I completely understand. I was just throwing that out there. No, because I could just for instance, I was at work and there's the magazines, the kind of. Well, there's one above the other one. And I love how the one said, because it's Gwen Stefani and wow, I can't think of his name right now.
Person.
The
Gwen
voice chat.
Stefani and man person.
Mm-hmm.
It's
The
gonna
voice
bother her.
chat. Yeah, it is gonna bother me.
Just keep
Can't think of
going.
his name right now. Anyway, so they're like one that says
Blake Shelton.
Yes, because she's pregnant with twins apparently, and they're getting married, and then the one says they're getting married, and the one right underneath it says that the wedding was canceled.
Yeah.
And they're right below each other.
Yeah. It's just...
Make up your mind!
It's tabloid stuff. It's just to get
Silly.
clickbait. That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
It's
You
yeah.
can't-
It's
yeah,
the original
it's-
clickbait.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's see if we get some insight on what's going on here. Next week, the episode is called Things We Lost in the Fire.
All right.
Okay. Michael Trevino returns to Mystic Falls in this episode, directed by Paul Wesley. Okay. So,
We get Poop Face.
Poop Face Tyler is back.
Ah, yeah,
Resting
perfect.
Poop Face, and
Just what I wanted.
Stefan is directing the episode. So, with the traumatic effects of the Phoenix Stone taking a toll on his brother, Stefan attempts to help Damon regain his grip on reality, while secretly struggling with his own experience in the stone. Elsewhere, Matt and Bonnie deal with the fallout after Julian and his men take over Mystic Falls, leading Matt to spiral out of control and into trouble with an officer named Penny. Meanwhile, Tyler returns to town for Alaric's baby shower, and Caroline makes an upsetting discovery involving Alaric and his future plans for the babies.
Alaric went 5 kinds of nuts when Joe died.
It's not even that. I think
He kind of got closure with Florence.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he actually got to say goodbye, and that was the main thing.
Yeah.
As
He's
far
still
as
5
what
kinds of
he's
nuts.
as far as what he decided to do with what he's gonna do with the babies, I think he's gonna take them and run. To be honest, and Caroline's not gonna want that. He wants to get away from the Gemini Coven, like that whole bull crap that goes on with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, her maternal instincts are going to kick in, for sure. So there's going to be a bit of that. But keeping a baby on set is very rough. We've seen that on the originals. And there's a lot of stuff that they have to do and work around and stuff to make that happen. And then having twins on there and stuff, it's probably best if Tyler does take them away for a little bit. So, yeah. But as the rest of it, the beginning, it almost seems like that stuff actually happened.
It does sound like that it did. But
The
like
very
you
first
said-
one, yeah.
Yeah.
But like they said, that no one actually died. It was just a lot of knocking out and craziness.
Yeah. So, we will see.
I'm sure this has sent Caroline into psycho, like, oh my god mode, because, oh my god, I was stabbed. Babies, blah.
Yeah. Yep, and I see Stefan standing up for Damon, which would lead Caroline to flip out on Stefan because she was pregnant, which would explain why in the future they don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because Stefan is always going to take his brother's side.
Oh yeah.
So,
Especially after going through something like this. Not together, but kind of. Because they
Right.
both, I mean, it's not the same experiences, but it's the same place.
right, and Stefan's dealing with something himself. It says that he's secretly dealing with.
So we're probably gonna get some flashbacks.
Yeah, so they'll
It's not going to be Ripper.
No, it probably won't be Ripper, but it'll deal with something, and I don't think it's something that we're really going to uncover in one episode. I feel like Stefan's is going to be spread out over a couple more, and it's going to be bigger than what Damon's was.
It's gonna be something that we didn't have any idea up
Yeah.
until all of a sudden comes out of nowhere.
Yep. So, I think that's about it. You guys have anything else for this episode?
Nope.
Oh.
No. All right, Mike, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Philodrin, right there. It's over here. There it is.
Okay, then. Nikki, where can the people find you?
They can find me also on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Excellent. Huffity Puffity, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at HUFFITY,
Get us to dance every time.
Every time. It's so catchy. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You could also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Until next week, stay the fuck away from the Phoenix Stone.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you have regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have regrets, stay away from the Phoenix Stone.
It'll make you
probably-
have regrets.
It'll probably find you for some weird, crazy regret that you like buried way down that you had no idea was there, and you're like, fuck.
Like, shit,
I'm-
I forgot about this. This still bothers me.
I forgot to clean my dresser one day.
I forgot to hit the stop button on this recording.
Oh, no.
No.